And of course, there's this huge debate between veganism and and of course the other
Yeah.
side is the carnivore. But
Right.
it seems like consensus from around the world and looking at blue zones that that these longevity people do have a little bit of animal protein in them, except for I guess Loma Linda. They're
Mhm.
a third of the population are vegan or vegetarian.
Mhm.
So yeah, do you have any particular thoughts?
I really don't like dogma. And you see this happen in the nutrition world so much of like right, wrong thinking, good, bad thinking. Like it's like religious, like zealot, like, it gets really heated. And it's
Mhm.
fascinating to me because I don't like to operate that way. And so I wrote about this in my book because one of my biggest things, before I ever did keto, when I heard of keto, I was like, literally Googling, I'm like, healthiest populations in the history of time. And I'm like, what did they eat? And I'm going on this deep dive. I'm like, they all ate carbs. All of them ate carbs. So what's the
Mm.
deal? And so as I went through more deep thinking about this, I was like, yeah, but there's other facets involved too, because now, like I said, we have all these processed foods. We have like astronomical levels of carbohydrates that aren't really present in nature, right? Like we're eating tons of processed bready products, candies, sodas, desserts, all it. That's not the same thing as vegetables and fruit and potatoes, And so
Right.
like, and we're way less active. We're living in different cultures. Like walking for a lot of Americans is when you're mad because you had to get a bad parking spot. Like that's like literally, and you like barely walked around the grocery store and went home. Like we are pretty sedentary. So as I sat with it more, I'm like, yeah, there's more factors involved though, than you can't just isolate nutrition when looking at health. But that being said, as I got deeper into the keto circles, people were like, plants are trying to kill you and they're bad for you and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. Like we are getting way, way, way ridiculous. Sorry, that's my opinion here. So I wrote about this in my book. You look at like Japan, for example, and how high carbohydrate, 85% carbohydrate
Mm.
diet is like when they tested, like did I think it was in the 60s or something, when Japan, Okinawa was just super high on the longevity thing, like the most centenarians in the world. They were eating 85% carbohydrates.
Mhm.
85%, which is very little protein. And then you
Mm.
look at other, a lot of Asian countries, like they eat very little animal proteins, but they do eat animal proteins. And so to me, like saying that we shouldn't eat any animal proteins at all, I do personally disagree with that. I would never, to somebody who tells me that they don't want to or that they don't and they're feeling great, I would never disrespect them or think, well, they're just wrong. I really can't stand that. Who am I to say that they don't have some unique thing going on in their body that's not right for them right now? Sure, go for it, see how it goes, but also don't get so dogmatic in it through like belief systems and indoctrination that you're not being honest with yourself if things aren't going well. So, and the same thing goes for the animal people. It's like it's a lot of really dogmatic thinking. It's like, I know I have put clients on carnivore as an intervention. I'm not against it as a tool, but when we start saying things like plants are trying to kill you and like just because like I had something wrong in my gut that I couldn't digest plant fibers because I lacked certain diversity in my microbiome, I'm going to tell everybody that they also shouldn't because they might not have the same thing going on in their body that you did, and a lot of this is social media. Like if you go to an actual naturopathic doctor, functional medicine doctor, integrative medicine doctor, like in real life, they're not dogmatic like this. This is like a very social media. I'm trying to have a voice. I'm trying to be famous. I'm trying to have a message. I'm trying to have a niche. I'm trying to make money. Like it is that. Sorry, it is. It's a suit. I'm trying to be right. Like, and I just honestly don't have any interest in being in those worlds. So I just kind of mind my own business and stay aligned with people who are more open minded and respectful. And I think that some people might have a life changing transformation going on a carnivore diet. For them and their thing, their body, what they need, they've got tons of gut inflammation, all this stuff, systemic inflammation. They don't have that bacteria to break down fibers from plants. They have all these food sensitivities. They go carnivore, life changing transformation. And then you could have somebody else that has great gut bacteria to break down fibers and plants, and whatever they needed in their body. Going through a phase of a vegetarian or vegan diet was exactly what they needed at the time. So I think that our desire to be right as human beings, and this disrespectful energy that like everyone needs to subscribe to my belief system, is something that I hope we evolve out
Yeah.
of.
If you look at genetics, and everyone's genetics is different, and
Right.
everyone's microbiome is different. So
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
why, we have to tailor each